Alright guys, well done for making it to week number 4. By now, you've learned all of the need-to-know basics for Tekken and are probably, out there having a lot of fun performing combos and punishing your opponents for their mistakes. But now, it's time to learn about some more advanced strategies that can help you as you continue to improve and fight stronger opponents. Over the past few weeks, you've been absorbing all the necessary information needed so that you could dive into the more advanced topics more comfortably. Since everybody kind of learns at their own pace, you can always go back and review a previous lesson and work on it on your own. But for now, it's important to sit back, listen up, and maybe take some notes. Just so we're all on the same page and nobody gets left behind, let's recap some of the most important topics from the first 3 weeks. You can start to recognize and remember moves easier by looking at some of their characteristics and properties. This is going to be important when you need to jump into practice mode to figure out a certain attack's strengths or weaknesses. And don't forget that you should also be mixing up your highs, mids, and lows to keep the opponents guessing on defense. Launchers are attacks that pop the opponent into the air for follow-up combos. As a beginner, learning your basic combos is crucial because they oftentimes lead to big damage. You can sometimes punish your opponent's mistakes with launchers, so please continue to practice combos in practice mode until you feel confident in your execution. You can use basic movement strategies such as dashing and sidestepping to maneuver freely around the stage. Now once you've got those basic movements down, learn how to combine them with your attacks. Alright guys, so this week I want to talk to you more about a couple things that didn't really fall under the category of important basics for beginners, but as you start to improve in Tekken, they become more important for you to learn and add to your game. So let's get started. So Tekken runs at 60 frames per second. Frame data can be used to measure specifically how fast or how slow each attack is, or how much time you spend recovering after an attack is blocked or whiffed. And while it's not necessary to know the speed and recovery of every single attack in the game, you can utilize frame data in practice mode to find information on some of the moves that have been giving you a hard time. Having just some frame knowledge can really help you with your punishing abilities. Different from basic throws, command throws require a more specific button press in order to escape. And while not all characters have command throws, some characters actually specialize in them. You'll have to pay close attention to the opponent's arms to determine the proper escape button. Throw breaking is not really a skill you master overnight, but instead something to work on in practice mode and improve at over time. A Power Crush is a specific type of move that all characters have available to them. The unique feature of a Power Crush attack is that it's able to absorb mid and high hits during its attack animation. This helps players keep their composure while dealing with enemy aggression. Power Crush attacks go right through the enemy's mid and high attacks, but are weak to lows as well as throws. Most stages of Tekken 7 have a wall or corner in which you could back your opponent into, and that's where you're going to be able to apply some serious pressure. With no space to retreat and the threat of being knocked into the wall for big combo damage, your opponent usually has to play more careful and defensive. Try to make the most of these situations, but also remember that these things can happen to you, so definitely be careful. After your character gets knocked to the ground, and this includes after enemy combos, the most common recovery option off the ground is the tech roll. To perform a tech roll, you'll want to tap any attack button as your character hits the ground. It's a great way to quickly get to your feet, but you'll want to be careful. Your opponent has an opportunity to throw attacks as you recover, so it'll be very risky to try to contest them with attacks of your own. After you've been knocked to the ground, sometimes it's not a bad idea to just stay grounded. Laying there for an extended period of time can kind of throw off opponents who anticipate you trying to stand up and defend immediately. Even if you do get hit while on the ground, you can still tech roll and get to your feet quickly. As you improve, you'll need to find better ways to defend yourself against stronger players other than just guarding all day. And just like on offense, it's very important to mix up your strategies on defense. From the neutral position, if you happen to anticipate your opponent coming in for an attack, you can throw out your own faster attack to keep the enemy out. And the best keep out attacks are going to be the ones that you can quickly throw out and recover from, as opposed to a slower, unsafe attack that leaves you open for punishment. So, against enemies who use a lot of low moves, try going for a hop kick or another quick jumping attack that can cause big damage. They can't attack your legs if you're jumping and hitting them in the face, So your opponent's definitely going to think twice next time about using low hitting attacks if you manage to punish them for doing so. Now, almost every character in the game has a quick crouching low jab option to bail them out of a bad situation, and it's usually performed either by pressing down 1 or down back 1. Low jabs are very fast, and since you're in a crouching state, you don't have to worry about getting hit by high attacks. Make sure you use this option sparingly because increased usage will make you more predictable and leave you open against counterattacks like a hop kick or a low parry. Speaking of which, another way to defend against low attacks is the low parry. Tap down forward at the same time that the incoming low attack would land on your character. And after a successful low parry, you can follow up with a big combo. The timing requirement here is going to be very strict. So for you guys, low parry can come in handy when you're dealing with strings that have low attacks somewhere in the middle. The attacks in the string that precede the low hit can act as a signal for you to activate the low parry on time. Always consider your low parry, keep out attacks, hop kicks, and low jabs when looking for new ways to defend yourself. And now that you know what each of those options are used for, start paying attention to how you might be able to incorporate these against your opponent in a real match. Now, if you want to go out and try some of these new strategies on your own, I definitely recommend you starting off in practice mode. There's just too much going on in an actual match of Tekken for you to try out new things that you're unfamiliar with. Practice mode is going to allow you to focus on one topic at a time until you feel like you're ready to move on to the next. And once you've got a few new tricks under your sleeve, then it's time to go out and challenge others. Now, I don't really expect you guys to be able to utilize all of this new information just yet. These are kind of things that are going to come in handy more as you begin to develop and master your Tekken basics. The purpose here is to at least develop your Tekken brain so that your skills can catch up later, and I think that's the best way to set you guys up for success. Now let's take a look at this week's homework. Alright guys, week 4 in the books. Congratulations for making it this far. And I know I covered a lot of topics in this week's lesson, but to be honest, I could go on for days about any one of those new strategies. So that's what the Twitch stream is for. You want to make sure to tune into that, but also tweet out at me if you have any questions at TK_Anakin. Thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, peace.